I don't care. Okay, stop telling me that. I earned it. It's my right. I worked hard for it. Now it's mine. Yeah, I deserve it. Everything I have, it's on my work. Okay, and I don't care about all the other things as long as they do not have an impact on what's mine. Okay, animal extinction, climate crisis, plastic pollution, the welfare, homelessness, and affordability of housing, not my problem. Okay, work hard enough and you succeed too. Would you agree with this statement? It's a harsh one, and I bet you do, because you are far too comfortable and acquainted with this thought of the meritocratic system and dream exported from America to the whole world. Everyone can make it. That's right. Work hard enough and you will succeed. But this thinking brings forth an important problem which we see currently in our society. It's called the meritocratic hubris. The meritocratic hubris is the tendency of the winners to inhale far too deeply in their success, to forget the good luck and good fortune that helped them on their way to success. It's the conviction of those who land on top that they deserve their faith, that there is no other reason for their success other than their hard work, which is of course not true. There is always a bit of luck involved and circumstances we have no control over, like time, the place we were born in, the education we received, and the wealthiness of our parents, as well as the country we grew up in. By implication, according to the meritocratic thinking, those on the top deserve their faith. It's solely their success, and those on the bottom, they deserve it too. It's their fault. They did not work hard enough. They did not make it. They deserve it. This is what makes it a kind of tyranny. The tyranny of merit. Welcome back to another video on our journey to live better, more meaningful lives through good habits and systems, decreasing suffering. And today we explore this idea, which in my opinion explains a lot of what's going on in our society nowadays. A lot of the polarization we experience and the sense of helplessness and hopelessness in regards to wealthy elites and career politicians, as well as the many recent tin-hatted people around and a lot of the conspiracy theories we are facing. Based on this book, The Tyranny of Merit, Michael Sandel explains the current state of the Western democracies. He's a professor at Harvard for political science. For some, a representative of the establishment, but I hope you give him a chance and a credit and a chance to lay out his thoughts. I think they are very helpful. As we are here in Australia in a year of an election, but also because of the current challenges posed by the pandemic and the rise of political partisanship, it's a great topic to dive in and to explore the question, what is the future of democracies? And for Sandel, the future of democracy is a society in which we have equal opportunities and a democracy of humility. What does he mean with these two things? Equality of opportunity. You might think that's already around in our society, but you are wrong. We need to have a closer look and you'll see. Over decades, people from different economic backgrounds have less and less common ground. They live in different suburbs, go to different schools and visit different doctors. They go to different concerts and almost never spend time together in a public space. They have different educational and financial possibilities. The hopelessness creates in return frustration and resentment. Why try if failure is certain? Recent developments show, for example, that children in the US will be worse off than their parents. Just as in Australia, our current generation does not hope to buy a house as their parents' generation realistically worked for. Now, in human history, there was always a gap between rich and poor, the kings and noblemen and the peasants and the common folk. But even that gave room for humility and compassion, because the noblemen and the rich, they knew they did not deserve their riches because they were born into it, and that at least gave room for some compassion for each other. But not in current times. In a meritocracy, there is no room for compassion and humility, because those on top, they feel entitled because there is the understanding that they deserve what they have, and those on the bottom, they deserve it too. The notion that your fate is in your hands, that you can make it if you try, is a double-edged sword, inspiring in one way but discriminatory in the other way. It congratulates the winners but denigrates the losers, even in their own eyes. For those who can't find work or make ends meet, it's hard to escape the demoralizing thought that their failure is their own doing, that they simply lack the talent and the drive for success. This gives rise to the politics of humiliation. To reinvigorate democratic politics, we need to find our way to morally robust public discourse, says Sandel. One that takes seriously the corrosive effects of the meritocratic striving in the social bonds that constitute our common life. If the common good can be derived and arrived to at only by deliberating with our fellow citizens about the purpose and the worth of our political community, then democracies cannot be indifferent to the character of the common life. We need to find common ground with everyone in the society. It does not require perfect equality, but it requires that citizens of different walks of life encounter one another in common places. It leads to a more generous and compassionate society, where even those who are not fortunate are welcomed. Who do not make it have a place to live, a place to express themselves, and a place to feel welcomed and not as the losers of society. In the same time, a democracy of humility, where those on top are aware of their fortune and of their good luck and are open for dialogue with everyone in their society and surrounding, who do not just step back in their mansions up the back of the hills and do not care what happens down in the valley and in the streets around the corner. A democracy of humility and a society with equal opportunities. I find this thought very encouraging, and I'm thinking about where do I find this in the political agenda of our parties, those who want to be elected for the next election, those who want to lead us. How do they ensure that we see this happening? I don't know. I'm not here to advertise for any party, but to encourage you to think about the democracy, its future, and what political parties put up. Thanks for watching, hope it's helpful. See you next time. Bye.